Hello there, guys. I'm not editing this or anything. I'm obviously sitting in my car because we're about to go to the park. Don't worry, I'm going to have a mask on while I'm there. Our park's pretty big, so we kind of luck out in that department because it makes it easier to stay away from people. And I just wanted to kind of put that out there, despite what you might be seeing on the news, in, papers, wherever, none of us is ever going to know the exact COVID count. Day to day, monthly, yearly, whatever. We're just not, because it spreads so rapidly. It's impossible for them to be able to test everyone who has it on any given day. The only way they could do that is if they literally had us all get tested on a daily basis and managed to check every single result every day. So I err on the side of caution. Assume more people have it than you think and be more careful instead of less careful about it. That being said, yes, it's important to stay in your house or your apartment or wherever you live as often as possible right now. It's important for your own health and well-being, and it's important for the health and well-being of the people around you. And we're lucky. We live in the technological age. We have games to entertain us. We have streaming services. We have PlayStation and Xbox and Nintendo Switch and all this stuff to keep us entertained. It's not like the Spanish flu where you're just stuck indoors with nothing to do and you die of boredom. There is stuff you can do. You can still call people on Zoom, on Facebook Messenger, on whatever you like to use, and still physically see them that way and talk to them and interact with them. So that's all well and good. I know, though, that sometimes as human beings, we need to just be out in the fresh air and the sunshine. Not that it exists today. As you can see, it's a rainy day. But it's okay if you're like, I've done all that, but I feel so cooped up, I just don't think I can handle it anymore. We all hit that point. I've had a lot of people tell me I'm lucky because I'm disabled and chronically ill, that I'm used to this, that because I always have to be in my house anyway, it must be easy, but that's simply not true. All of us are struggling just as much as anyone who is extroverted is. Yes, I might have a little more experience with being cooped up in my house than most people, but that doesn't mean that it's making this any easier. Eventually, I still like to get out a little bit, just like anyone else. So what we've been doing is we've been making sure that we pick either days like today where it's rainy, or really early in the morning, or a little bit later at night, and we're going to the park, and we're going to the section of the park that no one likes to congregate in, for this reason or that reason. It's next to the woods, and people get creeped out and stuff because they're like, oh, there's ghosts in there and stuff. So we go when we know nobody will be there. We wear a mask, unless, it's like well after hours or something, and we know that no one's even in that section of the park, and we forget. We have done that once with the oracle reading. That was our bad. Luckily, we didn't have anything bad happen or anything. We're okay. But for the most part, like today and stuff, we got our masks. We're good to go. We're going to be okay. And we just sit there and we do readings, or we just talk, or we have a little barbecue. Same with our backyard. We're fortunate enough to have a backyard. And, we're just spending our days where we're going crazy from cabin fever, doing things like that. Just going to the park, going on little walks, or for me, Zooms, because I have to use my power chair, and just finding little outdoor activities that won't potentially harm someone else. There's only so much you can do as a human being. Don't feel bad if you are so cooped up and so over being in your house that you have to go out. Don't feel bad about that for even 1 second. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means you're a person. You're struggling. You're having a hard time like everybody else is. It's okay. The only time it's not okay is when you actively choose not to be careful and take other lives into consideration. If you need to get out like I do today, be careful. Make sure you're wearing a mask when you leave your car. Make sure that you're doing everything in your power to keep yourself and those around you safe. And do contact tracing. Make sure you're logging where you've been each day, so on the off chance that you get it or you give it to somebody else, they can tell where you were. they're not trying to invade your privacy when they contact trace. They're not trying to say, oh, I'm going to tell your wife you were at the strip club or something. They're not interested in getting you in trouble with your family. Contact tracing is just so they know whether or not the people who were around you at the time you were infected also got infected. Don't take it personally. It's the same as when you go to the hospital and they ask you if you're on drugs. They're not going to call the cops on you and get you in trouble. They don't care about that. They just want to make sure they don't kill you by accident. But that's all I've really got to say today. I hope everyone's doing as okay as you can given the circumstances. And as always, do something that makes you happy today, no matter what anyone else thinks about it. And I'll see all of you again soon.